amid local race to catch up with OpenAI, claimed in the report. Spectral Labs joins hugging faces. Katy Perry admits fake Met Gala photos even fooled her mom. Chinese unicorns Hippo AI to launch Sora rival as early as 2024 amid local race to catch up with OpenAI, claimed in the report. Spectral Labs joins Hugging Faces ESP program to advance the on-chain open-source AI community.
Israel launches military operation in Rafah that U.S. officials say is limited in scope, as U.S. paused bomb shipment to Israel to signal concerns over Rafah, official says. France joins China to condemn Israel's Rafah attack plans and sign the European power is veering from U.S. on key issues.
AKA Putin Crab, with developing and operating Lockbit ransomware, offers reward up to $10 million. China-linked hackers used Rootret WebShell in MITRE network intrusion. In the UK, Milan actor hacked UK Defence Ministry payroll, Sunak says after China reports.
Royal Caribbean, recruiting thousands to meet surging demand, sources say. Qantas boss says demand for premium class seats at record levels. In the US, 81% of young people say a 4-day workweek would boost productivity, new CNBC and Generation Lab survey reports.
U.S. power and natural gas prices turn negative in Texas, California, and Arizona. China's Haiyang plans Morocco copper plant to tap Western users. Renewable sources provided record 30% of electricity last year.
China has launched a secret robot to the far side of the moon, new Chang'e 6 photos reveal. Historic Boeing Starliner crewed mission postponed shortly before launch over rocket issue.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer declares state of emergency in parts of state over tornadoes, as 17 tornadoes reported in 7 states across the plains, and after deadly Oklahoma tornado, storms bring twisters to the Midwest. Driver gets stuck in mud on closed Death Valley Road, photo shows. Rangers warn others. Typhoon season in Northwest Pacific seen less active than normal, and computer models show heat waves in North Pacific may be due to China reducing aerosols. South Korea brings hypersonic tech to the AUKUS table, in a sign Seoul is moving closer to the US and its other allies. Zero Philippines says won't raise South China Sea tensions, won't use water cannons. Zero Russian troops enter base housing U.S. military in Niger, U.S. official says.
China to look for ways of settling Ukrainian crisis jointly with France, announced Xi, and Europe needs China to address security, climate challenges, claimed Macron. Switzerland invites Pope Francis to peace conference on Ukraine. Czechia, Estonia will not attend Putin's inauguration on May 7th, and Czech Republic recalls ambassador to Russia.
North Korean missile that landed in Ukraine used fake Japan part. BBC comments as Cubans lured to Russian army by high pay and passports. Russia puts Ukraine's Zelensky on criminal wanted list. Also, Russia puts former Ukrainian interior minister on wanted list. Polish general called for mining borders with Belarus and Russia. Latvia digging anti-tank ditches on border with Russia, Belarus. Ukraine plans counteroffensive in 2025 with $61 billion U.S. military aid, Sullivan says, and U.S. may send troops to Ukraine if Kyiv defeated, Democratic leader says. Forbes comments as, Greece and Turkey are adamant about retaining their Russian missiles.
Gaza, said Netanyahu. Biden administration pauses one ammunition shipment to Israel, reason unclear.
UK to build first high-tech nuclear fuel facility in Europe to shut Putin's Russia out of the global market and create hundreds of jobs to improve energy security at home and abroad. Korea hints at accepting Indonesia's cost-sharing reduction proposal on KF-21 project. Pakistan says bomb attack that killed 5 Chinese engineers in March was planned in Afghanistan.
Russia ramps up arms production as US boosts support for Ukraine. Macron welcomes Chinese commitments not to sell arms to Russia. About half of the North Korean missiles Russia fired at Ukraine flew off course and exploded in the air, official says.
Russian TV channel claims Finns long to return to the Russian Empire. Polish judge defects to Belarus. Bloomberg reported that EU plans to ban Russian funding for political parties, think tanks.
Jack O'Connell joins 28 years later trilogy from Sony and Danny Boyle. Marvel will release no more than 3 movies and 2 shows per year, Bob Iger says. Michelle Yeoh to star in Blade Runner 2099, sequel series for Prime Video.
Attack Dave Chappelle sues Hollywood Bowl security company.
Judge Cannon indefinitely postpones Trump's classified docs trial. RFK Jr. Super PAC will sue Meta after campaign infomercial temporarily blocked. Former White House hopeful Bernie Sanders seeks re-election at 82.
Czech Republic's top court rules that surgery is not required to officially change gender. Utah auditor slams transgender bathroom law as 10,000 hoax complaints flood his office. Texas voters make history electing first LGBTQ+ state senator.
Activision Blizzard ordered to pay $23.4 million for patent infringement.
In the UK, prisoners to be released 70 days early to ease overcrowding. Ottawa approves British Columbia's request to recriminalize use of illicit drugs in public spaces. In the U.S., mass shootings down 29% from last year and almost 100 fewer people have died. In the U.K., border force gates back online after outage chaos as Home Office rules out cyber threat. Germany should copy Britain's Rwanda policy for migrants, says leader of Angela Merkel's CDU party as he insists Berlin and Brussels are partly to blame for Brexit for refusing to offer more concessions. Trudeau forced to accept meeting about Sikh activists in order to land in Punjab during 2018 trip.
Nearly all FTX creditors will get 118% of their funds back in cash, estate says in new plan. Former NFL star Rob Gronkowski to pay $1.9 million to settle crypto investor suit. Poloniex hacker transfers over $3.3 million worth of ETH to sanction Tornado Cash. Apple announces new iPad Pro with M4 chip, new iPad Air tablets. New iPads won't include stickers in the box due to Apple's environmental goals. And new iPad Pro and iPad Air no longer include a charger in the box in some countries. New iPad Pro loses ultra-wide camera, fastest spec M4 chip exclusive to 1TB and 2TB models. Apple quietly kills the old-school iPad and its headphone jack, and Apple's new cellular iPad Air and iPad Pro models are eSIM only.
Toyota to add MX-5 Miata rival to GR86 and super sports car lineup. 2025 BMW M4 CS squeezes 543 horsepower from its twin-turbo inline-six. Rolls-Royce unveils Cullinan Series 2 with Spirit, Whispers, and fresh clock cabinet.
Fisker files for creditor protection in Austria, may close U.S. headquarters. Apple in talks with Rivian, likely over Apple Car revival. Tesla vehicles kept crashing even after the autopilot software updates, NHTSA says. Luminar says Tesla is biggest customer for its LiDAR sensors.
TikTok, ByteDance sue to block U.S. law seeking sale or ban of app. Lawmakers admit they want to ban TikTok over pro-Palestinian content. Ukraine says Russian operatives dominating on TikTok as information war rages. U.S. fund managers with ESG mandates have worst ever outflows. Federal Reserve's Kashkari says rates will stay high for extended period and can't rule out a hike. Billions in phantom debt is lurking in by now, pay later services. Orangutan seen treating wound with medicinal herb, and first for wild animals. New research confirms that Beethoven had lead poisoning, but it didn't kill him. University of Houston professor Cristina Rivera Garza wins 2024 Pulitzer Prize.
Google Fit APIs get shut down in 2025. Might break fitness devices. Apple's new Logic Pro adds AI band members for iPad and Mac users. Google 2FA will be simplified for workspace users. Google says its MedGemini AI healthcare models beat GPT-4. 40,000 AI-narrated audiobooks flood Audible, dividing authors and listeners. Robert Dennard, inventor of DRAM and pioneer of semiconductor scaling, dies at 91.
In Italy's Viterbo, 36,000 evacuated due to the Lady Rose Maxi bomb of the Second World War. Swiss Army knife, maker to produce version without a blade. Obsessed with the price of kebabs, the Germans demand a cap from Olaf Scholz.
Some cases of Alzheimer's caused by 2 copies of a single gene. Nanotechnology-based oral insulin may replace injections for diabetes. AstraZeneca withdrawing COVID vaccine worldwide.
Ukraine arrests 2 colonels in protective service in plot to kill Zelensky. Moldovan president says Moldova will do everything to preserve peace, but if Russia attacks, it will defend itself. 2 months ago, Moldova's Sandu signs defense deal with France, warns West that Russia will not stop. Russians in Berlin commemorate Victory Day, despite ban on Russian and Soviet flags.
Elizabeth Holmes has more time cut off her sentence. Bill increasing age of sexual consent dies in Oklahoma House amid flap over childhood marriage ban. Boy Scouts of America changing name to more inclusive Scouting America after years of woes.
Australia's tax office tells crypto exchanges to hand over transaction details of 1.2 million accounts, as reported by Reuters. Revolut debuts crypto exchange for professional UK traders. Grayscale withdraws Ether futures ETF application before SEC decision. Top crypto options desk QCB gets Abu Dhabi regulatory nod.
Boeing under investigation after workers falsified inspection records on some Dreamliners. Emirates boss says unhappy with Boeing delays in fixing 777X problems. China's Comac to expand Shanghai C9-19 plane factory as orders grow.
Togo's longtime leader signs a new constitution that eliminates presidential elections. EU socialists, Greens, Liberals warn von der Leyen. No to hard right alliance. Iraq's highest court temporarily suspends Kurdistan elections, sparks tension. Heavy metals, pesticide cocktails found in over 400 Indian products. With floods, Brazil will import 1 million tons of rice, as Brazil authorities scramble to get aid to flooded south amid forecasts of more rain. Hong Kong authorities to install AI tech at country parks to spot wildfires, tally visitors.
In Ireland, remote-controlled electric shock collars for cats and dogs to be banned. Alibaba seeks growth in Mongolia with new e-commerce platform selling Chinese goods from wholesale marketplace 1688.com.